All right, ladies and gentlemen. So just reminded to record the session. So now the session is being recorded. Any problems, let me know. We should be finished. Anybody have any answers for me here? All right, so let's begin. So we have a triangle. So we have a triangle. The triangle here is seems to be a right angle triangle. That's what they're saying. So it is being indicated here. Have a right angle triangle, because this little sign there means it's a right angle. Okay, so we have that. We want the size of angle PQR. So angle PRQ. From P to R to Q, so we want this angle here. We know that in a triangle, all the angles add up to 180. So we would say, let's call this R. Can call that angle R. So we know that 62 plus R plus 90 equal to 180 degrees, which means that implies that R is equal to 180 degrees minus 62 minus 90, which is equal to, so R is equal to
28
degrees. Nice. All right, so now we have that 28 degrees. Let me undo that there. Redo. (28 degrees). So length of side RQ. All right, we could use several theories, but the one that we are going to use, let's call RQ, let's call length RQ common P. Let's call it common P. We are going to use the sine rule. So we have the sine rule, not the sin rule, sine rule that says length A over sine of A is equal to B over sine B equal to length C over sine C, capital C. Okay, you guys hearing me clearly?
Yes.
No.
Yes.
All right, so we can use this. This is a sine rule. Of course, with A and B, the letters can change, so we don't really need to, it doesn't matter about that. Okay, but let's use the sine rule. So this would say that this means that sine, sorry, let me undo that. It means that P, so using the sine rule, P over sine of capital P is equal to R over sine R, little r over this way, which is equal to Q over sine, equal to Q over sine of Q. Now that I look at using the sine rule here, I realize that it might not work. All right? So that's P, that's R, this is the little Q on this side. It might not work. Okay? Another rule that we could use, shouldn't it? It should work. Let's try. So what is P? We don't know what P is, but angle P is 62. So we have little p over, is that my data? Little p over sine of 62 degrees is equal to Q, which is 11 over sine of 90. Then we can rearrange. That means that P is equal to sine of 62 degrees multiplied by 11 over sine of 90 degrees. And we'll just find all those answers on a calculator. Can somebody tell me what sine of 90 is?
Calculator says 1.
Okay. So sine of 90 is 1. So P is equal to sine of 62 times 11. What is sine of 62? Well, we can just put that in our calculator just like how we see. So sine 62 times 11. Let's see how that works.
So I got 9.71.
You got
9.71.
9.71. Excellent.
I also got to use in the sine ratio.
So when we round that off to your nearest, it is a whole number, but let's use 3 decimal places. So 9.712 centimeters. All right, and that's it. Let me give you a minute.
Excuse me, sir. So when I'm doing the sine 62, sir, so I got 0 points.
A lot of numbers, right? 0.88 basically.
Yes.
Yeah, that's fine.
So, but I don't see how you get the 9 point something, sir, because when I times it, sir, I don't.
We multiply
Yes.
0.88 times 11.
Okay, sir, I just saw it, sir.
Okay, no problem. Even morning. So as you have seen, I kind of skipped that last one there. So I'm going to move on to this one. Take your time. Let me clear this drawing. Take your time and go through it. Okay. I'll give you 5 minutes.
Excuse me, sir, I'm not sure what I should be doing, sir, because it's the first time I'm seeing this type of question.
Okay, all right. So they're asking us to express the equation of the line L1 in the form y equal to mx plus c. So here we have L1, right? They have given us the equation actually. So they said that L1 is equal to x plus 2y equal to 10. What they are asking you to do is to rearrange the formula and solve for y. Okay, that's my hint. I'll give you 2 more minutes on that. All right, sorry for taking so long. Sorry for taking so long. So solve for y. So I love to use the onion method. And in the onion method, what we do is I draw an onion around the variable that we are solving for, or the term that we are solving for. And then I draw increasingly large concentric circles or increasingly large circles around that onion. So the next one is 2, and even around that 2, I have this x. Now, anytime you're cutting an onion, I hope that most of us have cut an onion before, but anytime we're cutting an onion, we start from the outside going in. So I need to get rid of this layer. And inside this layer is x. What is the x doing? X is adding, the x is adding. So on the other side, in order to get rid of this x, I need to subtract from both sides. So this would be x plus 2y minus x equal to, sorry, it's not, it's 10, right? Equal to 10 minus x. Okay? Because I'm trying to get rid of the x. Since it's adding, doing the opposite, I'll be subtracting. I am left with 2y equal to 10 minus x. Come again? Oh, that's music in the background. I thought it was somebody saying something. Okay. The next thing that we do is that I want to get rid of the y. The 2, sorry. I want to get rid of the 2. 2 is multiplying, so on the other side it will divide. So it's 2y over 2 equal to 10 minus x. All of that will be divided by 2. So y is equal to 10. Those two cancel. 10 minus x over 2. Now, this is not immediately in the form y equal to mx plus c. So let's split it up. Since we have multiple numerators and one denominator, we can split it up. So we're going to split that up. 10 over 2 minus x over 2. Of course, we know that 10 over 2 is also equal to 5. So that's 5 minus x over 2. All right? X over 2 is a coefficient. X over 2 is a coefficient. Let's just flip this around. This is minus x over 2 plus 5. Getting there, we're getting there. All right? I'm going to flip this around so that we can immediately see the y equal to mx plus c. So now we have y equal to, well, x over 2 is the same thing as, or minus x over 2 is the same thing as negative a half. So it's negative a half x plus 5. Now, do you see the form mx plus c? It says y equal to mx plus c. So m is equal to, if I were to highlight, m is equal to negative a half, and the c is equal to 5.
Sir?
Sir, how did you get the negative x to be 1? So I'm confused.
How did I get the negative x to be?
Sir, the negative x.
1.
It's not 1, it's a half, minus a half x.
Yes, sir, but could you explain how we got from negative x over 2 plus 5 to negative a half x plus 5?
Oh, how we went from
X
5
is
minus
equal
x
to
over 2?
X is equal
Okay,
to 1.
look at this way. Let me use a blue marker. Let's look at it this way.
Wow.
If I have a half, that you can't see that at all. Undo. Allow me to erase this side, please. Let me erase that side really quick. Thankfully, this is recorded. If I have a half times A, this is the same thing as saying a half times A over 1, which is 1 times A over 2 times 1, which is equal to A over 2. Right? So I can literally say half A is equal to A over 2. These two things are equal. Similarly, negative x over 2 is the same thing as saying negative a half x. Okay?
Yes, sir. Thank you.
No problem.
Sir, what if you said negative x over 2, so if you times it by 1, sir, wouldn't you get back negative x again?
If you take out the negative sign, remember
No,
now,
sir, if you times it by 1, sir.
you would get negative, you still have a negative a half x. Remember now, anything multiplied by 1 is
I'm
the
not
same thing.
understanding, sir.
Remember, anything multiplied by 1 is the same thing. So negative a half x is negative a half times x over 1. That's minus 1 times x over 2 times 1, which is negative x over 2. Okay?
So m would equal negative x over 2.
Yes, because those two things are equal.
Okay.
It's
sir.
like, it's just, instead of saying, like in Jamaica, instead of saying, you know, girl, you look good. Instead of saying that, you say, woman, you're hot. It's the same thing. We just use different words or different expressions. Okay?
Yes, sir.
All right, cool. Let's clear this and move on to the last topic for tonight. The last question for tonight. Says state the gradient. Nope, that's too easy. Moving on. Hence determine the equation of line L2. Okay. What we should remember here is that line L2 is is perpendicular to L1 and passes through the point THROUGH, passes through 0, -5. Okay, 2 marks, 2 minutes.
No, typhoon dead body. Oh, me I hear that. Oh, that
All right, so how we stay? We want to remember that the line L2 is perpendicular. So when lines are perpendicular, that means that it means, let me put it in text because I know that my handwriting is beautiful, so I'm gonna put it in text. When two lines are perpendicular, basically, that means the product of their gradient. Okay, the product of their gradients is -1. Of course, we can also, sometimes you might hear about the negative reciprocal. When you multiply the two gradients, you're going to get the negative reciprocal of the other, right? That's a nice visual way of saying it, okay? But it's basically the same thing. That is, all right? So let me give you an example. That is, if I have a gradient, let us say that of another line. Let's call this line, I don't know, R. Let's call this line R. And R has a gradient of 2. P is perpendicular to R, so it has the negative reciprocal. So for us, the negative of this 2 would be -2, and then the reciprocal of it would be 1/2. So it would be -1/2. I think I gave away the answer. Okay. So we know that line L1, so L1 gradient, the gradient of L1 is -1/2. L2 is perpendicular to L1. So L2 would have we have to change the sign. So it's not 1/2 now. The negative of -1/2 is 1/2. And then the reciprocal of that, I would flip it over. That's give me 2/1 is equal to 2. So the gradient of L2 is 2. All right. Now it says it says that L2 passes through the point 0, -5. This -5 is the constant, right? That's a constant. This is the y-intercept. So y-intercept, also known as C. Okay? So I have everything here I need for my equation for line 2. So line 2, the equation for line 2 equation is y equal to m, or is it mx plus c, right? Mx plus c. So that is y. What is m? Gradient is 2x, and my intercept is -5. And that is it. Okay? That is it. In the first recording, ladies and gentlemen, please, we have plenty more questions. I will see if I can send some to you through one-on-one services, one-on-one tutoring services. All right, so that you guys have practice and you guys can, send your questions. I'll be more than happy to answer them. As always, I thank you very much for coming out and participating. You are a lovely bunch, and I will see you next week, same time, same place.
Bye, sir.
Bye, sir.
Bye.